Does anyone else find it really annoying when you're about to start filming and someone starts drilling? Hi everyone, I'm here today with a horror and thriller haul. If we can all try and ignore the drilling that is going on. It's my life really, isn't it? It's my life. So I have a collection of horror and thriller books here to talk about, and I've been collecting these and waiting to do a haul for a little while. I haven't done a haul since my birthday book haul, so things have been stacking up. So I'm going to go through them in no particular order. Some of them were sent to me, some of them I bought. As usual, you know the way this works. So with no particular order, I'm going to have a drink of my fizzy water first, and let's crack on with the book haul. So the first one that I've got is this one. This I'm sure you've seen everywhere. It's been so popular, everybody seems to be raving about it. And this is Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club. So this isn't exactly a full-on thriller per se, but because it involves murder, I put it in the thriller pile. This follows a group of 4 people who meet up every week to discuss unsolved murders. But they are suddenly thrown into the midst of a real crime when a brutal murder takes place on their doorsteps. So a crowd of 4 amateur detectives are pushing 80, and yet they are prepared to see if they can do what they need to do to solve this murder. This was actually another birthday present, but I filmed my birthday book haul before I was actually given this. Some of the quotes on the back of this have me really wanting to read it. It says, "Funny, clever and achingly British. Smart, compassionate, warm, moving and so very funny. I smiled a million times. Diabolically clever, very funny, highly entertaining. I completely fell in love with it," by Shari LaPenna. Now we all know I love Shari LaPenna. And it's got a Marianne Keyes quote, Adam Kay, Jane Fallon who said, "It's a bundle of joy, I absolutely loved it." She's another one of my favourites, so I can't wait to read this, and it's had a lot of hype, so I've got high hopes. The next book that I've got was very kindly sent to me by Viper Books, and this is called Call Me Mummy. Now this isn't coming out till February next year, so this is by Tina Baker, and this sounds like a very interesting premise. Obviously this is a proof copy, so the actual copy will look a bit different when it's released next year, but this follows the story of Mummy, who has everything that she could want except for a daughter of her very own. However, out and about one day she spots Kim, who is heavily pregnant and is completely ignoring her eldest daughter playing while she sits on her phone. So Mummy thinks that she's just going to take this eldest daughter because she's not really being paid attention to, so she might as well have her. But Tonya ends up not being the daughter that Mummy could have wanted. She's foul-mouthed, she's disobedient, and she keeps asking what the horrible smell is that's coming from the cellar. Meanwhile, a biological mother, Kim, is demonised in the press. She's referred to as a scummy mummy, and people are saying that she should have her other children taken, and basically she gets no media sympathy, which we have seen before. The media are horrible, and so Kim starts to turn on everyone around her because of this trauma and the sort of the portrayal of the media making her out to be the one at fault. And unfortunately 5-year-old Tonya is the one that's caught in the middle. This sounds really exciting and I can't wait to read it. The next book that I've got is a gift, and it is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. And this book is 80 years old now, and this year a lot of fancy editions have been put out to celebrate the 80th anniversary of Rebecca. However, the Folio Society put out an absolutely stunning edition of it, and I was eyeing it up, and it was very kindly given to me by my husband, and it is here, and it is beautiful. This is the folio version of Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This is the dust cover, this is the spine, and the actual book itself is beautiful. And it also has some illustrations as well, which is fantastic. So I can't wait to read this because I've been wanting to read Rebecca for quite a while. So when I do get around to reading it, I'm going to feel extremely fancy with this beautiful edition. The next book that I've got is another one that was very kindly sent for review, and it's this one, The Apparition Phase by Will McLean. And I have read this, so I don't know what you'll see first, the review or this haul. I'm not sure which way I'm uploading it, but this is a very interesting book. This is about 2 children who are slightly different to their usual peers. They are smart and they like to look into things that other people don't, and so they spend hours and hours discussing sort of old folklore and things like that, and supernatural happenings, hauntings, that sort of thing. But things take a turn when they decide to fake a paranormal photograph to scare some of their school friends. But in doing that, they set off a chain of events that they could never have predicted. This is a literary horror set in 1970s Britain. The whole thing's extremely atmospheric, but I'll get more into that in the review, but this is fantastic. Next book that I've got, I originally bought to have read by Halloween, and things have happened. There's been a lot going on in my personal life, so I haven't been reading half as much as I normally do, so I never got round to it, and it's this one. This is Clown in a Cornfield, and this is by Adam Sesser, I think is how you pronounce it. I could be wrong, but I'm sure a lot of you have seen this floating around on social media. I put photos of it myself on my Bookstagram page. Now I'll just read this to you. It says, when Quinn and her father moved to a tiny town with a weird clown for a mascot, they're looking for a fresh start. But ever since the town's only factory shut down, Kettle Springs has been cracked in half. Most of the town believes that the kids are to blame. After all, the juniors and seniors at Kettle Springs High are the ones who threw the party where Arthur Hill's daughter died. They're the ones who set the abandoned factory on fire and who spend all of their time posting pranks on YouTube. They've no respect and no idea what it means to work hard. For the kids, it's the other way around, and now Kettle Springs is caught in a constant battle between old and new, tradition and progress. It's a fight that looks like it will destroy the town. Until one homicidal clown with a pork pie hat and a red nose decides to end it for good, because if all your opponents die, you win the debate by default. This sounds like so much fun, and I really can't wait to get round to it. It's got fairly large typing, and it's by Harper Teen, so I know that this is not going to be sort of something that's going to be too meaty. So I'm excited to dip into this because I do think it'll be sort of the type of thing that I'll enjoy. The next book that I've got for the Christmas season is this one. This is Agatha Christie's Midwinter Murder, and it says it's fireside mysteries from the Queen of Crime. Deadly snowdrifts and dangerous gifts, poisoned meals and mysterious guests. It all sounds like something I'll be into, and it's a collection of short stories from Agatha Christie, and I am wanting to get more into Agatha Christie style stories because there's been a few different books that I've reviewed and said I loved, and people have said, well, if you like that, you might like Agatha Christie, and so we're going to find out. The next book that I've got was very kindly sent to me by Viper. This is The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. This is coming in March 2021 and it sounds fantastic. I can't wait to read it. I don't know too much about it, and that's the way that I plan on slipping in there. I don't want to know too much about what's going to go on. I know a general sort of overview. So we have a man who lives right on the edge of a big wild forest. He lives with a grumpy cat and an 11-year-old daughter, and he's a bit of a sort of an odd character. He's a bit of a strange one, and people look at him a bit oddly, and he seems odd. And then he starts behaving more strangely as time goes on, and he starts to disappear at night, and he goes off into the forest and things, and there is someone who has a particular grudge against him because she thinks that he has been involved in something that happened with her family in the past, and so she moves next door. And I've heard huge praise for this book. I've heard it's extremely twisty-turny, and I've heard that you're not quite sure what's going on right until the end. So I'm going to read this soon and obviously let you know my thoughts because I'm very excited about it. And this is described as a gothic thriller. Now, everything I've read from this publishing house before I have loved, so I can't wait to get into this one because I think I'm going to love it. And the final book that I've got is this one. This is New Out 1 by 1 by Ruth Ware. I just picked this up the other day because Tesco's do fantastic offers on new books, and this cost me £6, I believe, for a brand new hardback, which is one thing I love about Tesco's. I'm not on commission with Tesco's. And this is a new thriller that involves snow, avalanche, people being cut off, and murder. So it sounds like everything that I love. I love a claustrophobic setting, as you know. I like people being snowed in. It is a bit of an overdone trope, but it is a trope that I enjoy, and a perfect one for the winter. So as usual, let me know if you've read them. Let me know if you're going to. Let me know what you've been buying, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye for now.